Ooh.
I think there's other members of this group that have good cooking skills at home too.
Okay, we'll call this regular session to order Wednesday, July 17th. The time is 7:09. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll open it up for visitor comments. And please state your name for the record.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Andrea Lindberg, and I am representing Scandalous Hair Design. First time here, so forgive me for my nervousness. I'm going to give you guys some facts. I'm going to probably take up the whole 5 minutes. Stop me if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Okay, to start, as a salon, we bring in over 6,000 people per year to this area. Most of them, a lot of them, will go to the restaurants afterwards or take the opportunity to visit some of the shops while they're down here. September and November of last year, we averaged approximately 150 clients. October, we had 45. That equals a minimum loss of over $5,000 collectively, just for the Saturdays in October. This is our livelihood, and this loss of income is unacceptable. The main reason for this loss is lack of parking. I worked with Ms. Curry last year to try and mitigate the parking issue. I suggested reserved parking in the back public parking lot for Scandalous Hair Design. 2 days before the start of Halloween Town, we received 3 small caution cones and 3 small signs that said reserved parking, all others will be towed. This was not sufficient. None of our clients parked in those spots because they said nothing about Scandalous. I then paid Bemis to make 3 8x10 laminated signs that identified the spots for Scandalous due to the fact we only had 3 cones. And I spaced them out and put directional arrows on the signs so visitors to Halloween Town still parked in our spots. After the first weekend, I asked Ms. Curry about having a monitor in the back parking lot due to the fact that one of my clients got hit and run in the back parking lot while she was getting her hair colored, and that visitors are continuing to park in our spots. I was informed that the city does not have the resources to monitor the back parking lot. But yet this 4th of July, I read that police officers would be checking wristbands in the tailgating area. So while I am working, it is also my responsibility to take down license plate numbers and then go and ask our clients if the cars belong to them, and if they do not, then I have to call the towing company. Honestly, I don't have time for that. We typically have a new person in our chair every half hour. We don't schedule breaks, we don't schedule lunch, and we typically work 10-hour days. I've spoken to Ms. Curry and Councilwoman Carlson multiple times about the parking issues, to no avail. I'm here to make all of you aware of this situation, hope that the council and I can come up with a solution. We also need to come up with a suitable alternative for our handicapped clientele. Since Kathy Miller has passed away, we do not have near as many coming in on Saturdays, but we still have a few. One lady in particular comes every Saturday, and she doesn't want to do it any other day. Jody has a color client with brittle bone disease. Last year, she had to go 3 weeks over her normal appointment because she couldn't come in the evenings and couldn't be dropped off in front of the door. Ms. Curry did tell us that the ADA clients could drive into the back parking lot, the public parking lot, drive out of the public parking lot onto First Street, the one-way part, and then be dropped off. So that was an option. I worry about that with still having foot traffic and people still driving. And Councilwoman Carlson did suggest getting a gator that could be used to transport our ADA clients from the veneer plant parking lot, which the city was, and Tina and everybody was said, we could come and get free passes so our clients wouldn't have to pay to park down in the veneer parking lot. None of our clients did it. And with the Gator, my concern about that is timing and jostling our ADA clients. We desperately need garbage cans in the public parking lot, especially during Halloween Town. Last year, Shannon Verowick of Shoestring Players was picking up soiled diapers and McDonald's garbage after the weekend. There was no garbage cans back there. Last weekend, we found about the road closure event on Facebook. We were not notified. We found out on Tuesday. The post stated that the road would be closed from Running Dog down. At 1 o'clock, the road closure signs went up at the sidewalk in front of our salon. I text messaged Ms. Curry as well as the mayor. Ms. Curry stated, I could read the text message, but that, there's still plenty of parking. She didn't know that it shouldn't have been placed there. She then came into the salon. We chatted about it. She stated that there's plenty of parking still available across the square, but our clients like to park up front. And if we had been notified in advance about this, we maybe could have told our clients, figured out something else. But we weren't aware of the closure. She repeated that there was plenty of parking. That's not the point. We need to know. And it said in the text in Facebook that it would be the road would be closed from 5 to 7. Ms. Curry, when we went back and forth with some text messaging, she said 4 to 7, but it was closed down at 1 o'clock. Furthermore, Judge Grant, I spoke with her yesterday. She was not notified either. For those of you that don't know, she lives on First Street. She wasn't notified, and she was hosting a dinner party that evening. Almost done. We understand that Halloween Town is a boon for the other businesses downtown, and we support that. And me personally, I was a huge fan of Halloween Town and loved that we were having the festival. Unfortunately for us, we're losing money. I am currently booking my clients into November. That's how booked I am. And as of now, I only have one of my regular Saturday clients that are willing to come down here. I hope we can work together, figure out a solution, try and make things better and everything, and try and let us function as normal as possible during Halloween Town. Final note, last year, the back public parking lot was closed for a complete Saturday and Sunday for SWAT, EMS, whatever we had to have during that period. That really doesn't work for us, and we only found out a couple weeks in advance. Possible suggestion for that is having SWAT and all of them go down behind the courthouse and that be their staging area. I have a list of 100 other things, but thank you for your time.
So you had mentioned to me and Kathy last Friday when we were talking about potentially having a one-way, come in the parking lot one way. You seen could be a resolution to having parking in the back near the alleyway.
That is another,
Correct?
that was another issue. I was just worried about time.
Sure.
But I was thinking that if we had directional arrows on the ground, because if you're not back there, you don't know. People are trying to go both ways in between. There really isn't enough room for in between the parking spots for people to be going both ways. People are trying to come in this way. People are trying to go in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought possibly directional arrows would help.
It wouldn't hurt for that. I would challenge the planners, associate planner here, to run back there and look, and I think you could do, it would probably make the flow of the whole parking work better anyhow.
It's a nightmare back there.
Yeah. And engineers too. Yes. Yeah. Really, that's your department. So.
And then you and I did speak about
Sufficient cones with signage.
Yeah, and I also think some tape of some sort that can say this area is for scandalous.
Definitely scandalous customers only.
I don't know about possibly maybe reaching out to the high school about volunteers. I don't know if that's a good idea to have high schoolers back there monitoring the back parking lot, but I believe graduates still have to have a certain amount of volunteer hours, possibly opening it up to that.
And I don't think the way they had the EMS set up last year, I know they blocked it up top because they had officers, but I think there was still that area was kind of where we put the porta potties and the wash station, if I recall, over at the angle going towards, but I think that parking lot right there was still pretty empty.
It was accessible and empty.
So I
And
think we could accommodate even, I mean, if they said, hey, I'm going to get my hair done, and she told me to tell you guys, and we had whoever was the officer at the barricades.
Right.
Yeah, no, we were flat out told it was closed, no access.
Well, that's because they were doing their job.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Absolutely.
We don't look this year, and talk about Tina Curry. Last year was we had one big weekend. We're still in the planning process, but tentatively it looks like it's going to be spread about with the largest weekend being the parade.
Sure.
So we're probably, and Steve Pegrove just walked in. Steve, our county emergency manager, and more than likely, although this is not solidified, that we won't have the incident command again this year because there's no need for all the resources, Homeland Security and everything else. So we look like we'd concentrate like we did kind of a mirroring our 4th of July response. So that basically, and to make this short, is that back lot will be open tentatively. Is if something changes and we have an influx of ticket sales for a certain weekend and we have to ramp it up, we'll able to do that. And we did move it, ma'am, from behind the courthouse for tactical reasons. We can't be. So I understand, in years past, but sadly that was a bad position to have that in for the egress.
It was a nightmare. It was, you were
Right,
trapped.
and so we had to move it to a central location in case something happened.
Yes.
But absolutely, right now, tentatively, that backlot should be open, in the whole month of October. So hopefully that helps.
I think following up on that, I think one of the issues with Mr. Hendrickson down at the marina is to implement possibly valet parking. And hey, I'll volunteer to park your car. I mean, I would love to volunteer to do that, to help you out in the month of October. I mean, something. So
Thank you.
just remember that. Okay, so if you need someone to shuttle cars back and forth,
Were you saying that people could park down at the marina and then get shuttled? I'm sorry, I missed.
no, valet parking.
Valet,
So,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you could have someone, you could either hire or have volunteer go get the car, bring it, and, pick up the customer, just like in any hotel or, matter of fact, when I was doing cancer treatment, they had valet parking, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And it was like, oh my heavens, so you don't have to go around the hospital parking lot, whatever, looking for a place. They come out, park the car, knowing when you're coming out, your car would be there. And so that could be a possibility.
Love
And it
it.
could be a possibility of how to work through a lot of our parking issues, if there are volunteers or if there is a group of individuals who can step forward and park cars. I'd be one of them.
Great suggestion.
I think you had, and I think you had a good idea though with the arrows and directions that we can get over there with Sue. You're just right here. For crying out loud, we can work together on this issue. We can remedy this. He was talking about they don't have any parking down there, so they're going to valet from here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what he was referencing.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I don't think that's going to be much of an issue in October
No, probably not for the marina, but
because I was
Yeah.
a little worried about the the public parking lot being used as overflow
if they are,
for
they're
campers.
they're diehards. If they're
But October shouldn't be much of an issue. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Andrea.
Pumpkin fish.
Okay, other visitor comments?
Shauna Harrison, St. Helens. I just have to ask because, and I wasn't going to, but what are you guys doing there's some like building going on kind of by the lagoon. It looks like they're doing some kind of improvement over there, kind of by,
Down low?
no.
Okay.
So off of like
It's
8.
drilling cores, they're drilling.
Oh, yeah, they're doing, that's part of the money that.
That's part of the,
That's part of the money.
and I told them, I said, that's all part of, I believe, everybody's been, I've been down here particularly about. And I said, I figured it was part of the scope of work that they were doing down there. but somebody said that they were actually building a building there, and I said, I don't think that it's really going down like that.
County,
But,
God bless them. God bless 'em.
so it was funny. But I, as in typical fashion, like to always come down here and ask. I certainly
They drilled their last hole today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you. That was it.
Hello. I just want to give you a quick, I don't want Public Works to be responsible for the fact that it wasn't a no parking sign out here, it was a road detour sign. So people knew that if they wanted to get to the dockside, they needed to make a detour. It didn't say no parking. So people parked the whole way down. The judge was in and out of her location at least 4 times that I myself witnessed. So I just want to make sure that you know it wasn't a no
It wasn't
parking
completely
sign.
blocked off. It was road closed section.
It was just a detour so that if you wanted to get to like Roy Thai or Dockside, you could go around, but it wasn't no parking. People parked in and out. They were in and out all day long on Saturday and Sunday, including the
Yeah,
judge.
but where the road closed sign was.
There was no road closed sign. Detour.
I got a text, right? Let's just don't go there. We're going to remedy this problem, Tina.
Okay, I just want to make
We're
sure
gonna remedy
it wasn't road closed.
Okay.
It was a detour sign. I just want the work guys put the right signs up.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, ordinance first reading. Ordinance number 3241, an ordinance adopting the. Oh, shoot, sorry. That's why she's the city recorder. Okay, we're going to deliberate the comprehensive plan amendment housing need analysis, which was explained very well by Jacob and Jenny. Any discussion on it?
I have no questions.
Okay,
Motion to accept?
Second.
thank you.
No, it's an ordinance down below. isn't it?
Oh.
Motion to accept?
Seconded.
Okay. Approve. Yes,
Motion to approve the comprehensive plan amendment for housing needs analysis.
Second.
wouldn't it be a motion to approve? Okay.
That's all right, yeah.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the comprehensive plan, the housing need analysis. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, ordinance, first reading, ordinance number 3241, an ordinance adopting the Riverfront Connector Plan as an addendum to the City of St. Helens Comprehensive Plan, amending the St. Helens Municipal Code chapters 10.04, 17.16, 17.152, 19.08, and 19.12, and adding chapter 19.36. Okay, that was a lot to read. Wow. Ordinance number 3242, an ordinance to amend the City of St. Helens Comprehensive Plan map for certain property from general commercial designation to general residential designation, and the zoning district map for general commercial zone to the apartment residential zone. Okay, ordinance first reading, ordinance number 3243, an ordinance approving the development agreement for the Forest Trail subdivision plan development pursuant to ORS 94.504-ORS 94.528.
Could I make a comment, Mr. Mayor, on ordinance 3241?
Yeah, I think you can. It's the first reading, right? Yeah.
I think we ought to revisit it for two reasons. One, the original process to look at this, was basic on the framework plan, and we've kind of changed that. And second most recently is the 58 new residences that are going to be built close to Gable Road, Route 30 interchange. And I think because that is going to change the traffic flow one considerable amount, we ought to revisit it and see what can be done at either end. We've got the process down. I think we have some details that have to be worked out big time.
Point of order. So one of the things we're going to have to do is revisit our vote and either amend. We'll have to because we've already voted on 3241.
It's just a
Did we
reading.
not?
It's just a reading.
on eight.
It's just a first reading. So we don't have to, and I will argue that, Councilor Topaz, we actually talked about that we can amend this as we go. This was a general concept of the connector plan.
And before Jacob left, he wanted me to note that in the final version of the plan, there's language in there about how this is an amendable
Okay,
plan.
perfect. That's what, so in the final reading, there'll be something.
Okay, because I think the really big change in this time span has been the addition, and that want to really put out that we've got I think it's going to cause some gray hair at that end.
It could, but at least it's amendable,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So resolution number 1855, a resolution to appoint a presiding municipal court judge.
Move we approve resolution 1855.
Second.
Okay, motion's
Second.
been made and seconded to approve resolution 1855. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, resolution number 1856, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of St. Helens, Oregon, amending the city employee compensation plan for public works summer labor worker.
Move we approve resolution 1856.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1856. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution 1857, a resolution of the City of St. Helens to set planning department fees.
Move we approve 1857.
And this is just a
Second.
discussion, this is just a very small, minute fee just to keep up with the times for those builders out there. Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1857. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 1858, a resolution adopting the universal fee schedule and superseding resolution number 1831.
Move we approve resolution 1858.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution number 1858. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 1859, a resolution establishing garbage and recycling rates and superseding resolution 1813.
Move we approve resolution 1859.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1859. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, award bid contract. A, contract to CHS Painting for the St. Helens Senior Center painting project. B, contract to CR Contracting, Inc. for 2019 crack sealing project. Made it easy on
Move
me.
we award contract 7A and B as read.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve 7A and B as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approve and authorize for signature. A, agreement with Metro Presort for monthly utility statements, e-billing, and lockbox. B, amendment and agreement with the city of Carlton for communication services. C, extension of agreement with Walton Valley Workshop for janitorial services. D, extension of agreement with Mason, Bruce, and Gerard for forest management services. E, extension of concessions agreement with the Worldwide ATM LLC for ATM at 277 Strand Street. F, extension for agreement with Structural Nexus LLC for structural plan review services. G, extension of agreement with Mark Comfort for cleaning up the various properties. H, final plat for Elk Ridge Estates subdivision phase 6. I, agreement with Lower Columbia Engineering LLC for design and engineering of Columbia Pacific Food Bank building at 1421 Columbia Boulevard. J, amended service plan agreement with Center Logic. And K, contract payments.
On discussion.
Yep.
B, amendment agreement, City of Carlton for communication services. How many hours is that?
Not very. Thank you. I actually pulled off and talked about that with her to see we understand the workload there, and it's really pretty minimal, but it's something they're transitioning away from her. So she does very little. They have somebody that can do it now, but they use her services.
And we just talked about her being overwhelmed and
I understand.
working
Yep. Same
like crazy for our city, and here we are.
I expressed the same concern. So
She's done like not even, I think, the last discussion I had with her was not even 10 hours in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I heard nothing in the last 3 too, just in conversation with her. No.
Is that a deal breaker, Keith? The 10 hours?
I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it.
Well, if you
No
want to,
doubt.
you want it to continue?
Yeah.
I mean, not the conversation, the 10-hour kind of thing for 6 hours.
I mean, if it's only that many hours, then I mean,
Might take
And it is weaning off. It is. They are getting to where they had some staff changeover to where they're trying to get it to do it in-house.
So, okay, because I could see if it was more of a reference of what are you guys doing right there, and questions and consulting.
they did go out for an RFP.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Move we approve and authorize for signature.
Can I speak to G? I'd like to know what Mark Comfort is doing. It says various properties I haven't seen.
he's demoing the mill that's not being used.
Do we get a report on how much iron and stuff he takes out of there?
I believe we do.
We do.
I get there's an expense report that goes
Yeah.
that I look at. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not just that. It's he also does nuisance abatement kinds of services as well.
Because it just said, agreement. I couldn't find anything describing what it actually was.
Yeah, it's an extension of an existing agreement for those services. We did a request for proposals, and he was one of the ones that responded to it. So.
It's basically whatever John agrees to.
Oh, okay. I just
no,
wondered.
there's a fee schedule, and it's
Yes,
not quite that.
Keith, we like to stir it.
I was using John's authority there.
Are we?
Okay, you did make a motion.
I tried. Move we
Yes.
approve item 8, approve and authorize for signature, A through K as read.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve 8A through K as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, well, who do we have for appointments to city boards and commissions? How
We-
many open spots do we have?
We have 2 appointments to be made at the library board, and hopefully Kathy has their names. I left my sheet home.
It happens.
We have 2 people who have been approved and vetted by the board itself.
Okay.
Do you still have openings on Art Commission?
Yes.
And Parks has one open, we heard today?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I just thought as long as we're having the
Yeah,
conversation,
might as well.
let's just make sure
Yep.
everybody knows where there's openings.
Yep.
And people are always, anybody ages 6th grade through high school is eligible to
Youth
come
council?
and help us out with youth council.
Every other Monday or no?
Monday of council week.
Oh,
First
okay.
and third Monday.
First and third Monday.
So anybody, whether,
Sorry.
as all they have to do is live within the district. They don't have to go to any particular school. They could be at the Christian school, homeschool, whatever. Ages 6th grade through high school.
The 2 names are Dan Davis and Marjorie, was it Stanco?
Marjorie.
Is that a motion to appoint them to?
That is
Second.
my suggestion.
I move we approve the, approved, can't remember their names now.
So.
Oh, I second it. I second the motion.
Yep. Okay, so a motion's been made by Councilor Topaz to approve Dan Davis and Marjorie Stanko to the library board.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda for acceptance. 10A, Parks and Trails Commission minutes dated June 10th, 2019. B, Planning Commission minutes dated June 11th, 2019. C, Library Board minutes dated May 13th, 2019.
Move we approve consent agenda for acceptance, items A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve consent agenda A, B, and C. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda for approval. A, new evidence technician job description. What is that?
That's additional help at the police station.
Okay. B, OLCC license. C, declare surplus property, library equipment. D, declare surplus property, public works water tender. E, council regular session minutes dated June 5th and public forum minutes dated June 24th, 2019. F, accounts payable bill list.
Move we approve consent agenda for approval, items A through F.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve consent agenda 11A through F. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, wow. It's been a while since we've been, what a long day. It's amazing that how much stuff piles up in a month's time. Yesterday, myself and Council President Morton and City Manager John Walsh in the afternoon were able to go to the Association of Pacific Rim Ports. So we met various ports from Samoan to British Columbia. It was very unique. We were able to take a boat ride up to Portland. It was talking to ports at Gray Harbor and stuff. Our port actually has some things going on that are good and that align with other ports. We are in a unique position to have a deep water port with rail, and our one downfall is I-5 isn't just right there; it's over there, and that's our biggest downfall, I think, as far as us bringing in industry. But they were talking about unique ways of trying to get businesses in, and just another collaborated effort, trying to get some good jobs back here. They're much needed. So we are working together, cities and counties and ports. So now more than ever is what I'm told, and it's not just the county is working together. Everybody's cooperating. So we know we're all in this together, and we want what's best for our taxpayers. So let's see. I guess I could report Citizen Day was a great success. Can you believe it's been that long that we haven't met? Citizen Day was a great success. It was fun to barbecue with all you guys and see you down there, and what a great turnout. It just was.
We'll double it next year.
We probably will double it next year. We're going to have to plan a little bit more food, and definitely rearrange that sand pile just a little more differently. But the kids love digging through that sand pile with the trinkets in there, and that was a great idea. When we loaded it up a little bit more, but that was a good idea, that sand pile. So, what else do I have? 4th of July, huge. Talked to a bunch of people that had been down here just for the very first time. Some of them have lived here 4 years out in Warren, and were loving the tailgating experience. So until that property gets developed, we're going to continue to tailgate and maybe even have some potential room for tailgating opportunities, even with development, if the plans allow it. So look forward to that. Was a good time. Maybe next year before we start talking about now, we try to up the funding for the fireworks, because it costs us more to put it over there on the island.
Cost us the same. We just got
It cost us the same, but we got a little less fireworks,
Yeah.
so we up it to get that show back up a little bit better. That's the only complaint, and I didn't hear it from a lot of people. That was the only complaint. So that's what I got to report on right now. That's it. So we'll go with Council President Morton.
Well, we had a very encouraging, very effective report on with the Parks Commission has been up to and what they've been doing the past year. I encourage anyone to go online to follow up on reading that. It is extremely detailed, and I think that report lasts probably a half hour, 45 minutes or so. It went on for quite some time, but it was detailed and very interesting. FYI for everyone, cougars have been sighted, or possibly bobcats, down in the Botanical Garden area. Just a heads up, and it's all kind of conjecture at this point, and so we'll see where that goes. So be aware anyway. Some of my neighbors when they go for walks down there, they carry a baseball bat with them. So that's one thing I guess you probably could do. But I got some reports from Sand Island of people still inquiring about where they can camp and where they can't camp, and I think Mr. Anderson is very he's very communicative about what you can do and what you can't do, and that shuttle's going now. It costs people $5 to go over there, spend the day, and get back. It's a pretty cool thing to do if you want a picnic. It's perfect, and if you want to camp, it's going to cost you, but the ride, the $5 ride, is included on that. So I believe the cost is $30 per night. So that's Sand Island. That's my Parks report, and I don't have anything else other than that. Ride yesterday was very effective to network with people.
It was.
Met a lot of people, then very interesting projects all around the, like you said, Pacific Rim. Yeah. It's very nice.
Okay, Councilor Topaz.
Last week I went down to the Portland Harbor Coalition meeting discussing some of the remediation of the inner harbor. And I'd say maybe three things that came up very disturbing. First of all, they've kind of outlined the harbor, bad areas, not so bad areas, and so on. And they pointed out there were three properties that they discussed that they had remediated and brought back. And one was the PGE property. One is being done right now, the old plywood mill, and the other was across the river at the end of Sophie's Island. And the PGE property, there's some red-legged frogs or something that they're taking care of. The disturbing part was once these areas get remediated, nobody is allowed in there. So these nice pieces of ground, there'll be no public access. And the PG&E properties had problems they've cleaned up. It also was not natural ground. It was soil fill from when they dug out the harbor. The plywood mill is not too bad, and it was not too bad at the old lumber mill across there, but nobody's allowed in there. The next thing they brought up was, okay, this was a blue area, most intensely needed to be fixed. The next area was the red area. And the red area is both sides of Sophie's Island, or I should say both sides of the Multnomah Channel, Sophie's Island and the mainland, all the way to the end of Sophie's Island, and their red map includes some of the Veneer property and some of our lagoon area. And somehow, I'm not quite sure all the legalities of it. This was designated as a test area either in the 50s or early 60s. There seems to be a lot of conflicting rules about what is to be done. And it can be taken on piecemeal, but there's some limitations of what people can do in these areas. So that was the one thing. Another thing they brought up is a lot of the protected areas that, and this is downtown Portland, so the river and the waterfront could be used, is now being politically encroached on by people wanting to change it to nothing but living space, mainly large condos or high rises. So the flux of the protection of the river is strange. The coalition for protecting the harbor is made up of a number of tribes, the federal Fish and Wildlife, the state Fish and Wildlife, the Army Corps. There's a number of different agencies in it, but the amount of laws having to do with the river and these projects are horrendous, but they are ending up keeping people out. And I talked to John a little bit. He said they've done some protection here, but it's something we've got to be very aware of, or maybe we won't be able to use the waterfront.
Who sponsored that coalition, or that meeting, their conference, or whatever it was?
That was the Portland Harbor Coalition for Action, or something like that.
And who
they've been established a long time down there. It's
a citizens group.
Yeah, it's a citizens group. It's been down there a long time.
And the only thing I have is you said testing in our area, and testing of what, and then you said what can be done. It was because there was a lot that you said there, and maybe you got ahead of yourself, but it wasn't very clear.
Okay, what I said is they've outlined the area that is going to be protected. And they redlined it. It goes all the way from this end of Sophie's Island to the other end on both sides of the Multnomah Channel. And their map shows it coming across. You know, their definition of the end of Sophie's Island gets somewhat into the veneer plant and a bunch of the lagoon and then down.
Was this a citizens proposal, or is it DEQ's?
No, this is a federal. It's the DEQ is another group.
I know.
And
whose proposal was it?
Now, this is something that's already been done back in 50 or 60. I mean, it's been in place almost 40 years, so I'm told, by the federal government and the tribes. Now, it has a lot to do with the salmon fisheries. You get credits for doing some of this. I mean, it's a complicated, and I found it almost incomprehensible mess.
Now, I think the plywood mill would actually be owned still by the stakeholders, because that was, if you're talking about Linton plywood.
That is correct.
Okay, well, that was owner operated. The workers owned it, and maybe that's still in litigation, is why it's not open?
I don't know. No, it's been deeded to this group.
Okay, so they might have actually finally got out from underneath and paid the shareholders, because
that's fine. But this is now after whatever they did mention. It was a long hassle to get to this point. But you'll see if you drive by a very high level crane that's there for pulling piles out.
They're not going to let private land just be opened up for public, because I guess what I was saying.
You won't even be able to walk on it.
No, it's for private land.
It's on trust land. It's public land. Not public land.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm unfamiliar with this too.
Yeah, I mean it's a
doesn't
mess.
sound right.
Does that have anything to do with us? No. What's that have to do with our city?
The only thing that it has to do with the second part of this project is the red line that comes all the way here. What they're doing on the plywood and on the PG&E is the blue area, the high. So this is a project having to do with the Willamette River, the Multnomah Channel, that somehow was decided a long time ago, and they're finally doing something. This is not part of the harbor cleanup. This is something separate from that.
I would be happy to check in with the people that are in the know with that question, because what I'm hearing you saying is that the remedial actions are in the end blocking public access, and that's the whole project is not about that.
Well, that was a surprise, John. Yes. And the tribes and the federal government are in charge of it. That was the other thing.
I would be happy to report back.
That has to be checked into.
Yeah, because I would think our the regional solutions would have notified us that, and the governor's Mark at the Ellsworth at the time would have definitely
Yeah, some of the
notified us.
some of the cleanup areas are deeded title lands, which means they own those properties. Others are mitigation sites, and there's a lot of different variables going on. And
Yep.
and if there is some tiers of cleanup areas, they've identified the hot spots and the cold spots. Yeah.
Yep.
That meeting next month.
Okay,
If they tell me that, I just,
anything else? Counselor Topaz?
no, that's it. That's the confusion I got from down there.
Okay. Counselor Carlson?
Couple of things. After the 4th of July, which was 4th of July, when you've been here 20 years, it just is what it is. I was encouraged that there was a lot of visitors here, and I pointed out to Jenny because I didn't realize she'd be here this evening, but it was the first night that the sign at the end of the plaza had been lit. And I noticed person after person stopping at that sign and checking out the map, walking all the way around it. Look what's here, look what's there. And it's like, amazingly, we put up a sign that is actually working. And so, I thought that was significant. But I just wanted to appreciate, because Jenny did, kind of led the course of that signage package and seeing that through, because it is a lot of work. You can't just come up with a plan and put up a sign. It's a long, drawn-out process. But it's nice to see that we can do a planning and see something to fruition. The other thing is, much like kind of my strategy is when I see something that doesn't work, I kind of go participate to figure out what it's about. So this last Sunday, the busiest day of the STP race, I served 4 years, felt like 4 years, 4 hours at the STP race station at the high school doing first aid for all the people there. And I was encouraged in all the scary stories I heard about the STP race. None of them happened within St. Helens. So that was encouraging, and people were super excited, and I followed their group, and people went on and on about how great the band was, how great the refreshments were, and how nice people were. And so it's nice to see people say nice things about our community. Some people had traveled here, flew here for this race, or for this supported ride. So I thought that was pretty cool. I just want to remind people that the Citizen Emergency Response Team is one of the groups that helps us with fireworks, helps us with Halloween Town, and the city, gives a donation to their program that supports this emergency preparedness, and that's who does the first aid groups, and they do first aid CPR training. They're also doing first aid at the fair, which began today, and I'll be out there Friday night helping out with Band-Aids and little skin parts and water and stuff Friday night. So make sure that if you're into the fair thing, that's a fun way to support kids and support community, is to check out the local fair. That was the other thing. Oh, and the other thing is I got feedback from the Chamber of Commerce. They did the remodel of their main office. They're still jumping through a hurdle on the health department for the sink for the coffee bar, but the cake lady's been there, and she has sold tons of cakes every day from 9 to noon. She's there. Almost sold out almost every day she's been there, and the exposure of being there, she is the dessert sponsor or dessert provider for Black Tie and Blue Jeans this year.
Nice.
And this is somebody that I met at a little, a Christmas bazaar selling cakes. And, she has a commercial kitchen. She's just not making cakes and bringing them. But she did this, she had co-business plan competition and did not succeed there. But it just shows that we can support local business, little mom and pop businesses in more ways than one. And it's just encouraging that even though Simon has left, that we've hired Chrissy Marquardt, which is a local person that does PR and does marketing experience, to help us out at the chamber. And I look forward to seeing her. She starts in August. So if you see her about, super great lady.
And her name is what again?
Chrissy Marquardt of Marquardt Farms. Christmas trees?
Okay, Marquardt?
Marquardt.
Marquardt?
Yes.
Okay, I always say
Marquardt
Marquette.
trees.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I always say
she's married to
Marquette.
one of the sons. So,
Okay.
but she does PR and web design, and she's just decided she wants a more structured thing, and she's pretty awesome.
So we got a pretty good hire.
So you'll see somebody new up there. She starts first week of August.
Good for the chamber.
But in the meantime, Monday through Friday, 9 to noon, there's carbohydrates for your pleasure. Well, there's no bakery. Other than Safeway, there's no real go get a muffin, go get a cupcake kind of bakery in town. She doesn't have regular baked goods, not on any regular. Not if you want a carbohydrate. I want a cinnamon roll and I want it now. So, anyways, I think it's encouraging when we support something and somebody sees it through and it moves through the process. And thank you, Jenny. And it was an awesome Parks report. That's probably in 6 years I've been on this council, that was probably the best Parks report I've ever heard. So just tell your team. They were just so put together and they had covered every single thing and they were super awesome. Your turn.
All right, Councilor Locke.
So, over at Cascades, they've actually cleaned up most of the white paper. All of the marshmallows are gone, except the brown ones are still out, but they haven't cleaned up the mess the paper made yet, but I'm assuming maybe they'll clean that up. And then they've created a few new messes, so give a little, take a little, I guess. I don't know. The best news is ACSP, the cannabis market has totally flipped from what it was 6 months ago. And now there's a shortage of cannabis in the state, especially of ingrown. So they're actually starting to make money now. So hopefully we'll start seeing some money from them if we can ever get the contract signed. I'll be going to a OLCC listening group 1st of August about they're going to be talking about different laws and things that work and don't work with the cannabis industry and whatnot. So I'll be going to that. And the news that I want to bring to you tonight is that I've decided to fill my term out. You'll be seeing me for the next year and a half sitting in this seat. Right now we have, I don't know, little uncertainty on the council, and I just want to stay and make sure things go the way we need to go. That's it.
Okay. Chief Greenway.
Just to dovetail on what Councilor Carlson said, you'll see St. Helens police officers at the fair Friday and Saturday. We're reciprocating from Sheriff Pixley helping us out on Halloween Town last year, so we're kind of collaborating on that. And that's all I forgot to mention that earlier. So if you see him out there working, that's why we got a really good partnership with the Sheriff's Office. And that's all I have. Nothing else, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Yep. Stu?
I did want to reiterate what Councilor Carlson and Councilor Morton said about the Parks Commission report. I thought they did an excellent job and extremely thorough about all of their activities. They have been very busy this year, and I think they've been very productive. And also, happy birthday, John.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's all.
Matt? Nothing? Kathy?
I just want to remind everybody that it's the Parks and Trails Commission, and want to try to ingrain
Yes, it
in
is.
you that
Thank
that's
you,
what
Kathy.
it's called. That's all I have.
Parks and Trails Commission.
Yes.
All right. So, I just feel like we really should. Are you embarrassed very easy? Should we sing him happy birthday?
I just want to know, I mean, how much more of a happy birthday could he have with
What else would he rather
with
do?
us the whole day?
John. Oh.
So there's just a lot of good work, and I, feeling the gravity of the work. I look down at my screen here and look at the length of the council packet at 761 pages in this evening's packet. There's just a lot of work going down right now, and a lot of activity.
So how many trees did we save by having our computers?
No.
Yeah.
And thank you for the well wishes.
Yeah. Good work,
We
John.
apologize to your family.
Yeah. There's fresh salmon at home though. So.
Oh. All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. So, any burning desires? Chief's like on the edge of his seat, like this. He looks like a criminal who's getting ready to take off. Yeah, come on up.
Very simple stuff.
Please state your name for the record.
Frank Brandon, St. Helens. I want to ask about something Councilor Morton said.
Uh-huh.
You said you were talking about going to Sand Island? $5 shuttle, Sand Island.
I believe that's it, yeah.
Now, when this was discussed a couple months ago, it was you can't charge for the boat ride, or else you have to have all sorts of Coast Guard regulations. So is that changed?
I don't know if it's a boat ride or not. Who knows?
He's charging for the day fee.
The day
use
fee.
of the park.
So if you take your own boat over there, as the
No
mayor
problem.
might,
Right.
it's going to cost you $5.
No.
No way.
Okay.
No.
So what's the $5 for? For the shuttle to get over there?
Well, it's a day fee from this side to that side. Yes, obviously.
Well, that's really,
I don't know. You know how
There-
it is.
yeah, okay, I'm just saying, I was here, as you know,
No, I
when we
yes,
talked
was.
about this before,
Absolutely.
and it was like, there will be absolutely no fee on this,
You are
because
absolutely
otherwise
right.
you have to have all sorts of Coast Guard regulations, and the captain of the little boat has gotta have passed tests, and you gotta have life jackets and all that stuff.
Yep.
Which I think is
You're
a
right.
good thing. So you can't charge $5 to go from here to there,
Yep.
or else you got to do this. So think about it, kids.
Yes. No.
No, we've been thinking about it.
Yep. You're right, Frank. Okay. So, good point though. That's why I asked if there's any burning desires. And we're gonna adjourn. Do you have the fancy pen, Jenny?